Welcome back to Let's Replay NWN2 original campaign. This is Big Los, and we're in the Alliance Arms Inn because we need to talk to somebody who just showed up here. So, Marcus, we found you in a well, and now you're here, so let's see what you have to say. Hello again. I'll stay here until you're ready for me to come with you. Okay, so that's going to be pretty soon, but we also don't have Bishop in our party, so now we can talk to Malin or Malin, or however you pronounce that. You're not from around here, planning on staying a while? We're just passing through. How do you know Bishop? First, I have a question for you. Why is he with you? Loyalty isn't high on Bishop's list, and he doesn't help anyone. He helped us get through the Luskan border so we could rescue a friend. Ah, Luskans. Bishop hates them. It's the only genuine emotion I've ever seen from him. The things he's done to them at the border. That's why I couldn't travel with him anymore. But he's good, I'll give him that. Just don't turn your back on him, alright? I won't turn my back. I don't trust him either, thanks to the warning. Just be more careful than I was. Bishop doesn't serve anyone but himself. That's just who he is. I will keep that in mind. Okay, so farewell. And we can talk to Kalindra over here. My partners, but do you have any news of Bradbury? He was careless and got himself killed. And we got 1,000 XP for that. How many times did I tell him? Braun should always be tempered by caution and wisdom. I'll miss him, even if he was a fool. What will you do now? Without Bradbury, I do not know. I will stay here for a time and look for work. If I find nothing, I will have no choice but to return alone to Am and to my father's employ. If I hear of any suitable opportunities, I'll be sure to tell you. For that, I would be doubly grateful. In Am, a coin in the right pocket is all that is required to secure a contract. Here, it is all in who you know. Right, so she will come in handy later in the game. We'll come back for her. Once we have some work, she's going to be one of the miners who will provide us material. Speaking of material, in case you haven't noticed, I brought Quora with me, and I also brought Casimir because they are going to need some leveling up, so we're going to do that. Let's do that right now, actually.
Yes.
Also, I'm going to do a little bit of crafting so I can generate some more money. In case you haven't noticed, I have a lot more money than I did at the last episode. So we're going to give her another sorceress level, and I'm actually going to stop giving her points in the bluff. It was probably foolish to do that in the first place, so all the extra points are going to go into craft alchemy and spellcraft. We don't need to put anything to lore. We're the lore expert around here. So we have one level 6 spell, one level 5, one level 4, and it looks like that's it. And we can't even swap out spells for the lower levels. So for level 1, why don't we... Oh... What should we do? Should we do Confusion? That's a pretty good spell. What about Elemental Shield? You know what? Let me check the crafting list to make sure that there's not a spell here that we could use. Okay, it looks like here we're gonna need resist energy. Is that one of the spells here? Let's go down here. No, I think that's like a level. It's probably like a level 2 spell or something. Resist energy. Is that down here? Yeah. So that should be one to swap out with one of these. Probably Lesser Dispel. Swap that out. Invisibility would be another one to get. same level. We don't really need silence. We might not even need resist energy because that's for crafting armors. Making them resistant to some type of energy like acid, cold, electricity, fire. What I'm really concerned about are the weapons. On Death to Death will get us Weapon of Disruption. That'll probably be one to get right now. The thing is, if we get this now, that will be one spell that we can't get that we could probably use in the immediate future, since we're not going to be facing a lot of undead creatures in the immediate future. Trust me, I just know this. I mean, what is this? This is a colossal effect. A number of enemy creatures equal to 1d4 per caster level must make a fortitude save or die. Beginning with those creatures with the lowest hit dice. Creatures with 9 or more hit dice aren't affected. Well, that's kind of useless. At this stage of the game, we'd be lucky we fight something that's less than 9 hit die. Enervation. That'll get us vampiric regeneration. Is that another one that's here? No, that might be the lower level. How about level 5? Is that there? No. There it is. That's what we're gonna get. Enervation. Because I sure do like that vampiric regeneration. A couple of these other spells, like inflict critical and cure critical, we can just have Javi craft that once we get her in our party. Hopefully we won't be level 15 by then. Otherwise we'll have to wait till level 18 before we can start making holy weapons. I mean, I guess we could technically have Eleni do it. She has cure critical wounds. However, I want her to get crafts wondrous item so she can make the greater amulet of health. What other spells are we gonna need? Well, I'm sure we could just get scrolls for the rest of these ones. We really need to, yeah. Spell resistance, that's probably one that we're gonna need. What level is that? That's gotta be like level 7 or higher. Alright, so we have one level 5 spell to pick. None of the spells that I mentioned are level 5, so we should just pick something that's useful. Yeah, I guess Arc of Lightning's pretty useful, but let's see if there's anything that's better than that. This one, I wouldn't consider that useful. This is kind of a useful spell if we didn't have protection from energy, but or not protection from alignment. Protection from alignment will cover most of the bonuses that you would get from this spell. This one is almost completely useless, Lesser Planar Binding. Well, I mean, we have used Dominate Person in the past, but like it says, it's only good on people. You know, we're not going to be fighting just people. Well. Not really a lot of good spells at level 5, is there? Well, I guess we'll just do Arc of Lightning. We already have 2 attack spells. I would like at least one good, solid buff spell, but it doesn't look like there is one. Except for that one, but like I said, the effects of this are pretty much mimicked with the protection from alignment, specifically protection from evil. What about this one? Intelligence and charisma damage. Nah. Why do that when you can just kill somebody? How about cloud kill? Instant death for... Man. Just a shot from the crossbow would be instant death for something with this low hit die. Over 6 hit die is con damage. No. What about this? Sonic damage? Aha! I like it. Very few creatures are immune to sonic damage. We'll do it. Okay. Well, that took forever and a day.
Yes.
Hopefully Cassiver won't take as long. We'll just give him a paladin level, screw it. We have 3 points in which to allocate. Concentration, mandatory, heal. What about down here? No, not parry. What have we been doing? Craft armor? Meh. Okay. And you get a level 3 spell. Well, well, well. These are kind of useful, actually. Dispel magic? Yeah, that's pretty useful. Greater magic weapon is always useful. Magic circle against alignment. That's kind of like the other spell that I was talking about, protection from alignment. Prayer is a good spell. Fortunately, it doesn't last very long, 6 seconds per level. It's kind of like casting haste. Or we could do remove status ailments. Blindness, deafness, or a curse. Let's go with greater magic weapon. Okay, well that should be it.
Yes.
Now, I would like to have a word about crafting. Now, like I said, I was kind of broke at the end of the last episode. So, I put both Nishka and Kelgar in my party. Kelgar because he just had some stuff that I needed. But Nishka, more importantly, to filch some money and some items from some merchants. Particularly in the Blacklake district. Now, Naya will buy your items at a pretty good price. So let's see what you got for sale.
What's going on?
Now, I've crafted a Duskwood longbow, and you actually get a very good price for this. Way more than the money that you would put in. You get $28.46 from her, and you would get the same price from the merchants in the Docks district. Unfortunately, the merchant in Sand Shop doesn't give you good prices anymore, not like Sand did. So we're not going to sell stuff to that thing anymore. Screw that. So if you just use Duskwood to craft a longbow, I mean, alone you get almost 3,000 gold. Now, if you enchant this to +1, you get about 6,800, I think. But if you enchant it to +2, you're going to get 10,000. And that's the sweet spot. Because this one, when it's crafted with Duskwood, it gets 2 enchantments. It becomes Mighty +6, which means that if you have a strength bonus of +6, that will be applied to damage. And it's a pretty light bow. It only weighs 1.8 pounds. That's pretty good. Now, the one thing that I really, really want to buy is this thing right here, the Ring of Regeneration, which costs almost 87,000 gold. I'm nowhere near that. But we can be if we craft a bunch of these and put them to +2. But I would need to do that, about 6, maybe 7 times. I don't even know if there's enough Duskwood in the game at this moment to accommodate that.
Yes.
I mean, I'm sure there's enough diamonds to put +2 enchantments on. Now, as you saw, I had 25,000 gold. I actually had a lot more than that at one point. Because when I came over here, I sold some of the items that I stole. And I'll show you. Look at this. These total up to 750 gold rings that we stole all at one time from one of the merchants in the Blacklake district. If you do sleight of hand on one of the merchants who doesn't really sell you anything, but you could still pilfer from, one of the items is 750 rings, which weighs 75 pounds. So you have to give it to one of your characters that can handle all that encumbrance. Also from the same merchant, he also gives you a gold necklace, and I think from another one, we get a diamond. And
Let me lead the way. You follow behind.
I think one of these is the diamond. I think this is the diamond because this one is sold for 100 gold. This one is 400. I don't think this one will combine with the other diamonds.
You have need of me?
No, it won't. This diamond won't combine with these. These are worth 400. This is only worth 100 because it's a stolen item. See, you get offered pretty lousy prices for stolen items. But, I mean, it's better than nothing, I guess. But since this is a stolen item and we can't sell it anywhere and we get pretty lousy prices, we might as well use this one in crafting. That's what we're going to do. Alright, so I'm going to go back to the sunken flagon. And this might actually transport us there instantly. Let's try it out. That's what's been going on lately, is whenever I travel to the docks district, it just puts me right into the sunken flagon without having to travel there. And here we are. Instantly we're here.
Yes.
So let's take Quora, and we're going to go in the back, and we're going to enchant this Duskwood longbow into a +2. So let's send her in the back. Let's bring Sam
I
over
think
there
it is
too.
time everyone marched behind me. You're
Something you want?
glorious leader.
And we're going to bring Chandra as well.
You have need of me?
I'm going to show you why.
Let me lead the way. You follow behind.
Okay, so let's go to the Magician's Workbench. I had one of my characters, I think it was Chandra, craft this thing for us. This Duskwood longbow. And we are going to put that
You have need of me?
stolen diamond into the workbench. And then we need an essence. We need a special type of essence, actually. We need a faint air essence, and I only have weak air essences. Now, if you get a bat tooth, that'll give you a faint air essence. And I'm going to go get that real quick, and then I'm going to come back here. Okay, so if you go to the Blacklake district and you talk to this guy named Dame Lilith, who sells the higher level magic scrolls, he will sell one bat tooth, which you can buy, and it will turn into a
What's going on?
faint air essence. So let's grind it up. And this is the missing ingredient. Now, before I go back there, I just wanted to show you.
I will lead now.
This
Follow.
is the merchant where you steal 750 gold rings from. Another thing that I stole is a chime of opening. Let's open this up. This thing right here. I stole that, I think, from her. Yeah, I also stole the diamond, I think, from her, too. That means I don't need the knock spell anymore. If I just want to open up something, I'll just use the chime of opening. Instead, I can probably do... oh, I guess another Scorching Ray. That's kind of useful. Alright, so back to the flagon. Okay, so we're back by the Magician's Workbench. Everything is where we left it, so let's bring up the inventory. And we need to find the faint air essence, the one we just ground up. There it is. Okay, so all we need to do is cast light on this workbench, which is right here. Make sure that the character who's doing this has the craft magic arms and armor's feet, or else this is not going to work.
Dabra.
Dabra! And now we can rename our new weapon. So I'm going to call this the Duskwood Longbow. And then we'll say in the brackets C equals cyan. We'll call it +2. So it'll be a Duskwood Longbow +2. And then make sure that you say /C to turn it off. Turn off your color. You could also bold by doing B in the brackets and then /B to turn it off, or italics with, you know what, I might just do that. I might just bold it too. B for bold, +2, and we'll turn the bold off, and then you have to turn the color off. See? So the +2 is now the cyan color and it's in bold. Pretty cool, huh? And then if you had the I instead of the B or the C, it would be italics. That's just for cosmetic purposes. Now for the color, you could just say what color you want and it'll be that color. Or if you know a specific hexadecimal number for a color, you could also do that. Because there's like so many million types of color pixels that you can choose from, so if you knew what you want, you know, you can always find the code for it. So we're gonna go sell this, but before we do that, we are going to the blacksmith's workbench.
Listening, really?
And we are going to put this tower shield mold in there. One of them. I was only able to find 2 of these so far in the game. I hope we find more of these later. But we're gonna make a Zalantar tower shield.
I will lead now. Follow.
Now, the tower shield mold requires 3 metal ingots. You could ignore this where it says metal ingots, because you could also use Zalantar planks. This is wood, but it's a special wood. So we're going to split it into 3. Whoops, not that far. 3. And we're going to throw these 3 in there.
Listening, really?
And then we need one of those blacksmith hammers, and I know Chandra has one.
Something you want?
So we'll give this to Sand for the time being.
I concur.
And the reason I'm doing this with Sand is that his craft armor is pretty high. High enough to craft a tower shield with this particular material. So let's just double click this onto the workbench. Crafting succeeded. We have a Zalantar tower shield.
I am not a pack mule, and I can't move carrying all this stuff.
Now, when you craft this with the Zalantar, it will automatically be a +2 shield, and the arcane spell failure will be -10%. So I think that means that the armor check penalty for using this shield is 0. Oh wait, no. Arcane spell failure is 50%, so that means it would only be 40%. Excuse me. Derp. Derp to do. Let's give this to Chandra.
Can't move carrying all this junk.
Yes.
Oh, will you stop complaining? See, we're gonna sell this thing, but it is kind of heavy. It weighs almost 20 pounds. I guess we'll have Casimir carry it.
Yes.
What type of shield do you have? Just a heavy shield, huh? You probably would benefit greatly from using this thing, but no, we need the cash. We're gonna sell it. Alright, so I will meet you at the weapon or armor smith, one of the two. Okay, so we're at Worth the Armor Smiths. We're gonna sell some stuff to him. This guy actually gives the same prices as Naya does. However, Naya will run out of money faster than this guy will. However, I'm sure if we bought some expensive stuff from Naya, then we could sell some stuff to her and get our money back.
Follow me.
So if we sell the tower shield, we're gonna get 10,000 gold just off the bat without enchanting it or anything. That's pretty good, considering the Zalantar planks are only worth about 100 or so gold each, and then the tower shield mold, however much that costs. So this is a great return on your investment. Okay, so now we have almost 35,000. Now let's sell that longbow.
Yes.
The Duskwood longbow +2 in bold and cyan will get us 10,000 gold. There we go. Now we're 20,000 gold richer. Now if we do that a couple more times, I'm sure we'll have enough to buy that ring of regeneration. Problem is, I don't think there are enough materials or molds in the game to be doing all that. Alright, very well. Now let's head off and do the trial. I believe we collected enough evidence. Looks like Janak moves faster than Quora for some reason. Let's have you go to the world map. One thing to note about those 750 gold rings when you sell them is don't sell them all at once. If you sell them all at once, it'll say 10,000 gold. Don't be fooled by that. You'll want to split them up. Let's go to the Blacklake district. If you split them up, the sweet spot is about 200 rings. In fact, I think it's exactly 200 rings. That's just under 10,000 gold. You go 201 rings, you'll just get 10,000 gold. If you do 200 rings, you get 9,980 gold. I think that's the price. But yeah, that was a sweet spot. So if you split your rings up into 200 rings or less, you'll maximize the amount of gold that you get for them. And if there's one thing you want to be in this game, is you want to be efficient with your money. Considering that scribing scrolls requires gold. Now, where does that gold go? I have no idea. It seems like the gold just disappears. It's consumed when you scribe the scroll. I mean, it's not like you're giving it to a merchant right there. When you're scribing it, it just disappears as you write it down. I don't know. I don't get it. But it's just a game. The same thing with the wands. When you're crafting a wand, your gold disappears, and it requires a lot of gold too. Oh yeah, there's one thing I learned about wands, speaking of. See this wand of fire that we have where it has no charges left? I just learned this. If you cast any spell on it, whatever level the spell is, will put that many charges onto the wand. If I would have known this earlier, I wouldn't have sold all of the spent wands that I had, like the wand of lightning or whatever. So look, now it has 7 charges on it. If I gave this to Quora, she could fill this up right away. I mean, not right away. It would take, a minute or two. But she could have it full again. And I might actually do that off camera. Alright, so to advance the game from this point, we need to talk to Sir Nevalle. How goes your investigation? Our mages and scouts have turned up nothing yet. I think I found enough clues to prove my innocence. If you're certain, but I wouldn't put it past those Luskans to find some counter evidence. And then they'll have you executed. Are you sure? Yes, let's do this. We have collected enough evidence. Alright then, let's take this to Nasher. And thus begins one of the supposed highlights of the game.
Lord Nasher Alagandar, Defender of Neverwinter, and Reverend Judge Olef Uskar, Lord Justiciar of Tyr.
Bring in the accused.
Hey, they took my hat off.
Reverend Judge, let the trial commence.
We are gathered here to determine the truth of the crime committed in the small village of Ember. Its people slaughtered to the last man, woman, and child. Under Tyr's guidance shall the truth of this matter be revealed, and justice delivered. Is the accuser here?
I speak for those the accused slaughtered at Ember, and I am here to see that justice is carried out this day.
I think the ambassador speaks out of turn. No guilty verdict has been issued.
The dead of Ember speak strongly enough of your guilt. How can you simply stand there after what you've done?
The accused is correct, Ambassador. This trial has barely begun.
Forgive me, Reverend Judge. I am afraid my conviction got the better of me.
Any more slips of the tongue, Ambassador, and the court will not look favorably upon it.
Of course, my lord.
Well done.
And is the accused here? And his defender?
We are present and eager to bring the truth of this matter into Tyr's sight, Reverend Judge.
Very well. We now list the items presented by the accused in their defense, and they will be shown to the people of the court, Lord Nasher, and held aloft for the eye of Tyr to see. First off,
It may take a while for them to get through all the evidence, bless it, and the rest of the ritual nonsense, so if you have anything you want to ask, now's the best time.
Do you have any advice?
Torio is an arrogant creature, but she is not a Luskan ambassador for nothing. This court is her theater, her arena, and she has had years of experience in treachery and twisting words. While evidence helps a case, she knows it is often the drama, the belief of everyone here as to who is guilty and who is not that will ultimately win the day. Do not forget that the rabble are here today to see someone hang. Unless you can convince them that you have been wronged, and grievously so, it is an uphill battle you fight.
So what strategy would you suggest?
It is somewhat unorthodox, but playing upon the animosity between Luskan and Neverwinter may help you.
I want to win by the rules of the court, not because of Luskan prejudice.
But that will only go so far, and may even help Torio in convincing the court that your actions may have been an attempt to start another war which no one in Neverwinter wants. I cannot give you a clear strategy, but remember that trading diplomatic words with Torio will be difficult. Do not resort to such a duel unless you feel you can absolutely win. And do not threaten her or try to bluff her unless you are equally certain. If you fail, you are bound for the gallows for certain.
I'll heed your advice.
Well, I'm glad someone does. I occasionally have a good idea, you know.
On occasion. And Sin, thanks for representing me.
Oh, well, you're welcome. But really, no thanks needed. I assure you, this is a labor of love, and I relish the thought of seeing Luskan lose face, and possibly Torio losing her head. Come, let us deliver some humiliations, one arrow at a time. It looks like they have finished dispensing the evidence.
and that is the evidence before us.
Ah, that went over well. I think we've done some damage to their case, and put a nice little twist of the dagger in Torio's side.
The accuser, Ambassador Torio Claven of Luskan, may now call witnesses to the stand.
I think we have seen enough of these objects and speculation. Let us hear from those who witnessed the truth.
I'm sure we're gonna fail this, but let's try it anyway. Forgive me, Ambassador, but are you speculating on the truth of the evidence?
Speculate? The truth is what we are here to determine. Everything is in question.
Is it? You seem quite certain of our guilt. Are you admitting that is also in question?
Of course not, and I aim to prove it.
Which is it, Ambassador? Are we guilty or not in your eyes? I'm finding it difficult to find the truth in your wordplay.
It is not my place to judge your guilt, and I would not dare presume. That is for the people of Neverwinter, their lord, and the gods to determine.
Do not play her game. She not only looks like a snake, but she speaks like one too. If you let her bait you, she'll soon have the court hypnotized.
I understand that you wish to stall the witnesses about to speak, but there is really nothing more your wordplay can do to prevent it. Another witness, yes, and a most important one, Reverend Judge. Unknown to many, the people of Ember were not slaughtered to the last woman and child.
The Luskans must have gotten to Elaine.
I call on Elaine, the last living resident of Ember, to speak on what she saw that fateful day. Elaine, thank you for coming here. I know how difficult it must be, but you realize that you are the only voice of Ember that survived that terrible tragedy. Now, please tell the court what you saw.
I saw the accused. They're at Ember. He killed them all. Elaine, no.
Chandra, can you say anything?
Look, when you get the chance, ask her if I would ever travel with someone who would do that, and where we were when it occurred.
This isn't good. We need to change the course of the river streaming from her eyes, or we're all going to hang.
This woman survived Ember? How?
Reverend Judge, may the witness please be allowed to speak without the accused attempting to interfere?
The accused will refrain from interruptions until the witness has spoken.
Alright, let her speak. We'll ask her questions after Torio's had her show.
Go on, Elaine. Tell us what you saw.
All those people. And they had no weapons. They had no way of fighting back.
But the accused slaughtered them all, did he not?
Yes. I saw it all. I took refuge in Port Last. There was nowhere left for me to go.
You are safe now, Elaine, and the accused cannot harm you here. What more proof is needed? We have a witness that saw the accused perform the deed. Perhaps we should move on to the sentence now. The accused's guilt is plain.
Wait, I have some questions for her first.
Of course. Please, the trap has already closed. There is no squirming out of it now.
Elaine, do you know this woman here, Chandra?
You know I do. You brought her to Port Last.
Can you speak to her character? Is she a good person? A friend?
Yes, I know her well, as a matter of fact. She stopped in Ember during trade season. Not once, but many times.
And do you know that she has been traveling with me for some time?
No, I did not know that.
Reverend Judge, I fail to see where this line of questioning is going.
Chandra here was traveling with me when Ember was attacked. Why would your friend do that?
Elaine, listen to me. Something's wrong. Whoever did what they did at Ember, it wasn't who you think it was. I would know.
Enough! The accused has only one counsel, and only he shall speak to the witness.
Oh, Ambassador, I freely forfeit the right to question the witness when Chandra here is speaking. I really have no choice.
Elaine, we weren't even at Ember when it happened, or anywhere near there. Are you sure you saw us? I think I did. Or, well, someone who looked very much like the accused.
What?
You heard her, Ambassador. I have no more questions, but I'm sure you do, Torio.
Forget this. Clearly the witness is too distraught to give her testimony properly. So let's choose someone who's not affected by Ember at all. Someone the accused knows all too well. I call forth Chandra Jarrow. What?
What? Why her?
Come now, Chandra. Don't be afraid. We are in a court of law. You may speak freely here.
About what? About these false accusations?
No, I am interested only in your interactions with the accused. You travel with him, do you not?
I do.
Let me ask you a question. Have you ever observed the accused causing, or near, any acts that compare to the destruction at Ember?
I really don't think that...
Answer the question.
No.
Not even your home?
Well, yes. But that was different. There were...
And wasn't your home attacked twice, and is now burned to the ground?
Well, yes, but that was after...
Next time when I ask you a question, I want you to answer it, Chandra, without objecting or giving me exceptions. You are safe here, and you need not fear the accused anymore. Because you see, what I am most concerned about, Chandra, is what you think, what you really think of the accused. We know something of his activities in Neverwinter already, as well as the lands around, so think carefully before you answer.
Hope you've been treating her well. She's about to come clean.
Is he someone who might do such a thing?
No, No!
Ah, and the tone reveals all. Thank you for all your help, Chandra. I think this matter will soon be brought to a close.
I hope you get what you deserve, Ambassador.
My dear, all I want is justice.
Are you finally finished?
Almost. You see, there's only one more I wish to speak to, and that is you. Why, I call the accused as a witness, of course.
Very well, about time.
My question is a simple one. Why did you kill the people of Ember?
Alright, now we're going to do something that we're really good at. And that's lore. It is well known that there is animosity between Luskan and Neverwinter dating back to the war. And when tragedy strikes, each has been known to blame the other first.
We do not need a history lesson here. Ember is all that concerns us.
History is important to this case, as are borders and treaties established by such history.
We will allow it.
Very well.
We are all familiar with the Luskan War, and the atrocities committed during the Luskan aggression.
There is no need to dwell on past.
The burning of much of Neverwinter, the slaughter of many of its people on the streets as Luskan fought for control of the city, is well documented.
Reverend Judge, we are not here for a recounting of old wars.
And furthermore, many of the atrocities within Neverwinter committed by Luskan forces somehow bear a striking resemblance to what occurred at Ember.
Indeed. And what dusty tome or witness shall you grasp for next in your defense? Please, amuse me with a name.
I believe Lord's Alliance account of the Luskan War, an impartial script, contains specific examples. Shall I recount them?
Enough of this diversion. You have distracted us from the matter at hand, but not for long. Let us see if your witnesses prove as capable. No more questions, Reverend Judge.
Very well, Ambassador. The accused may now present their witnesses.
May I? I have a brief opening speech with some cutting barbs prepared, but if you'd rather be found innocent as quickly as possible...
As long as you are sure to consult me before any witness is brought into court.
Of course, of course. Well, now that you've told me, that is.
Is the counsel of the accused prepared to give his statement?
Thank you, Reverend Judge, Lord Nasher, and fine people of Neverwinter. These allegations are a farce, my lord. I mean to show you the innocence of this man, a squire of Neverwinter, and the falsehood of the accusations against him. The evidence of the ambassador from Luskan is a transparent, ill-conceived ploy to destroy the life of one of Neverwinter's loyal servants.
The accused has only been a squire for a short time, conveniently promoted after the massacre of the people of Ember. Perhaps as a reward?
Ambassador, you have had your say. Now it is time for the accused to speak. And as for you, Sand, I would refrain from such accusations without first presenting proof.
My lord, the difference is, in my statements can be found the truth. I was going to call Callum of the Neverwinter 9, the commander you met in Old Owl Well after the victory there. His voice carries a great deal of weight.
Certainly. Call him forward.
For our first witness, I summon Callum of Neverwinter 9, fresh from his victory over the vicious orc tribes in Old Owl Well. Lord Callum, none can doubt your service and loyalty to Neverwinter, your successful defense of our sovereign lands. You have met the accused before, have you not?
He was a great help to me in defeating the orc bands at Old Owl Well in earlier months. Were it not for his assistance, the well would now be held by the orcs. The soldiers of Neverwinter and the realm itself owe a deep debt of gratitude to him, and it is a travesty that these foul charges have been levied against him.
Thank you, Lord Callum. We are ever grateful to hear the words of one of the 9.
Lord Callum, I have heard you express that the charges in this court are a travesty and that they are unwarranted.
That is true. I feel the charges are unfounded.
Is it because they are given by Luskan?
Luskan has much to gain by casting down heroes of Neverwinter. Do I trust that Luskan brings such charges in good faith? I do not. Nor do I trust your motives, Ambassador. There is a reason that low justice and high justice were divided by the Luskan-Neverwinter Treaty, and I do not believe that any Luskan court or advocate has justice on their mind.
But you do know that the voice of the accused's counsel is from Luskan, do you not? From the ranks of the Hosthour of the Arcane, before he fled?
That banshee!
No, I did not.
Sand, what is she talking about?
She must be getting desperate. Now she's using the truth. We can talk more about it later, but for now it looks like we will need to salvage both our reputations.
I say the ambassador lies. If what she says is true, let her prove it.
Prove it? Let Sand speak for himself. Look at his face, people of the court, and tell me if you think it true.
It is a lie, and I am both prepared and eager to argue it in court at another time, Ambassador.
The origin of such charges or slander on the counsel of the accused has no bearing on the crime itself. I misspoke, but your behavior here, Ambassador, only grants support to my words. If there's nothing else, I think we've all wasted enough time here.
I thank Lord Callum for his time, Reverend Judge. My questions have been answered to my satisfaction.
I see Naya, the herbalist we helped in port last. I was thinking about bringing her to the stand. She could be good for our defense.
I agree. Let's call her forward.
The accused calls Naya, resident of Port Last. Naya, you encountered the accused in Port Last, did you not?
That's correct. I remember the accused well.
Well met again, Naya.
And well met to you. It is good to see your face again.
Could you tell us what happened?
I have been at Port Last for the past season to help fortify the town's defense. Though my duties occupied all of my time, I was concerned about the unburied bodies in Ember. I knew from a former acquaintance, a follower of Kelimvor, that after dying such violent deaths, it was possible they could arise as undead. But I could not see to them and could not convince anyone to help until the good squire came.
It's the least I could do to help, considering how much you were doing.
The squire agreed to put the dead to eternal rest.
To hide the evidence, perhaps? This is meaningless.
Intelligence. To hide the evidence? Ambassador, the entire town was murdered. Hiding the bodies in graves isn't going to make the crime go away.
Yes, it is a wonder that Naya was not killed as well.
Actually, Ambassador, the accused and those he traveled with had every opportunity to kill me, and easily if they had chosen to do so. That too convinced me of the good nature of the accused. The true killer of Ember would have no doubt murdered me as well for attempting to interfere there, especially if I had uncovered any clues while attempting to bury the bodies.
Yes, such speculation is indeed of interest. To those less gullible than those of this court, I think. Now, are you done attempting to hold off a verdict, or are you ready at last to face justice?
No, at least one more witness, I think, and we shall close the curtain on this stage. Unknown to all, there was another survivor of the Ember massacre. A poor, frightened boy who had to hide in a well to prevent being slaughtered. How did he know to do such a thing? Why, Marcus has a gift of sight beyond sight, the gift of a seer. And he knew the murder would happen and the true identity of the killer. Tell us what you saw, young Marcus, what you saw with your special gift.
It was a man that killed the village. He was big, much bigger than a normal man. I don't know how you could be confused. Maybe he used a magic disguise. But disguises like that don't fool me.
What is this, a joke? You bring a child seer onto the stand, ask him a question, and then have him lie for you?
Do you have a question for Marcus or not, Ambassador?
No more questions, Reverend Judge. Perhaps the boy is right, but I trust my adult witnesses more, I think.
Then I shall call our next witness. Chandra, please come forward.
Sand, no!
If you make her speak, I'll cut you from throat to groin. Alright, I guess we can try diplomacy, even though it'll probably fail. This is for Ember, not me, Chandra.
No. Look, I can't. Torio will... Well, she'll tear me apart.
Please, if you can help, do it.
All right. Go on, Sand. Ask your questions.
Chandra, you know the accused. You have traveled with him, have you not?
I have.
And this crime of which he is accused? As one who knew the people of Ember, of Port Lost, do you really think him capable of such a crime?
No, not at all. Look, don't get me wrong. Trouble seems to come at his heels. But it's how he deals with those troubles that makes me say no. He keeps trying to make things right, even when things are at their worst. And it's really hard not to admire that, and stick by it no matter what.
I think that says it all, Chandra. Thank you. I have no more witnesses, Lord Nasher.
The parties have spoken. Now all that remains is judgment to be passed. Lord Nasher.
I expect Lord Nasher has already come to the correct decision.
I certainly hope so. It's evident this was a conspiracy to frame a loyal squire of Neverwinter as a criminal of the worst sort.
Silence, Sand. I have heard enough from you, and from you, Torio. And it is enough for me to reach a decision. The case before me was a difficult one. But it seems we now know the identity of Ember's attackers. Nevalle, I want the Ambassador, her retinue, and any remaining members of the Arcane Brotherhood of Luskan outside the city gates by nightfall.
What? This is no verdict to think the Brotherhood truly responsible.
You brought this case before me. Now you debate my verdict? I would be careful of where you point a sword when you draw it, Ambassador. And remind your masters in Luskan of that as well. I think we've wasted enough time on this. Justice has been done, and...
I claim the right of trial by combat.
Ambassador, I am tired of your games, and I will indulge you no longer.
In a matter of such importance, you would deny me my sacred right of appeal? Can Lord Nasher do that, Reverend Judge? Can he put himself above our god Tyr in this matter?
He cannot. The ambassador from Luskan is entitled to an appeal, as she describes.
So what's the point of the trial then, if all we have to do is fight? But we already proved my innocence.
Gods, I was hoping she didn't know about it.
And who will fight for you, Torio? This is no battle with words, though I would like to see you try to match your wit against the blade of a true soldier of Neverwinter.
Indeed, you are correct, Sir Nevalle. Luskan is not the aggressor here, and I only wish to see justice done. But I cannot defend myself and seek justice in this matter. Is there not one who will champion the people of Ember?
I'll do it. Oh, wait.
I will. I have listened to these lies, and will answer them with my blade, in Luskan's name.
A champion has been declared. Both the defender and the accused are required by law to report to the Temple of Justice in Neverwinter, to undergo the rite of Tyr, to cleanse themselves in a night of prayer and vigilance. The following morning, the champions shall meet in combat so that justice may be decided.
So be it. After the rite is observed, the trial shall be held in the morning upon the tourney grounds. Arm yourself and be ready, squire, or choose a champion to fight for you. Because, by the gods, we have not come all this way for justice to be denied in this final hour.
So, it seems this will be decided with blood. If that is what it takes to win the day, then that is what we must do. When you are prepared, go to the Hall of Justice and speak with Prior Ham to start the rite of Tyr.
Oh, so it's Prior Ham, not Hlam. Then what's the point of the L in the name? Guess it must be one of those silent consonants or something like that. Anyways, now that we've gone through this charade of a trial and proved our innocence, it turns out it was all for naught because they can just choose a right of appeal by combat. So that means we're gonna have to fight. But first, let's put our headband back on. Guess we had to take it off to show respect, even though it really did us a big disservice. Well, maybe not that big of a disservice, but we gotta pick our spells again. Should do for level 6. I'm not gonna need Undeath to Death this time. Yeah, I think we are gonna need some type of Bigby spell. Bigby's Grasping Hand. That's a good one. And we'll keep Finger of Death just in case. Actually, you know what? Yeah, we're gonna get rid of Control Undead because we're not gonna be facing any Undead. Not in the near future, at least. These are all spells that we're going to be casting. Well, we don't have Disintegrate. I guess we can put that on there. Level 5. That's right. There aren't really a lot of good level 5 spells, except for Vitriolic Sphere. I like that one a lot. This one isn't really that good, though. Minus 10 penalty to all attack rolls. What about this one? No, I don't think so. You know what? Maybe we could try a Glass Doppelganger. I know we haven't had a lot of success with it in the past, but that could change in this upcoming battle. What about for level 4? Well, we could do a Phantasmal Killer. That's an instant death spell. And level 2, we already did this already, but we'll have 3 Scorching Rays at the ready. And for level 1, we could do... I guess we'll do Grease. Okay. Well, that should do it. We're gonna have to cast some buffs on ourselves. as soon as this battle starts. But we're going to have more cutscenes to go through. So will we be able to fight our way to our innocence? By the next time, this is Big Los signing off. Thanks for watching. See you next time, and Tango India.